a large sum of money will enter your account today. Essence of knowledge, Buddhist teachings. What if today a large sum of money was added to your life, one that wasn't about bank accounts or financial gain? Imagine receiving daily deposits of peace, wisdom, and inner strength. Buddhist teachings invite us to explore a different kind of wealth, one that is both profound and transformative, adding value to our lives in ways that money never could. Let's explore how Buddhism defines true wealth and how we can earn it daily. Number 1. Understanding a large sum of money in Buddhism. In Buddhism, the notion of wealth transcends the ordinary meaning of financial prosperity. It refers to a deeper, more enduring kind of abundance that we cultivate within ourselves. While in our daily lives, great wealth often evokes visions of bank accounts and material assets, Buddhist teachings prompt us to look beyond the superficial allure of money and to understand that true riches lie in the merits and wisdom we amass through our thoughts and actions. Money in Buddhism is recognized as a tool, a means to support life and foster ease, but it's never seen as life's ultimate purpose. When we attach excessive importance to money, allowing it to dominate our lives, we risk falling into a cycle of attachment and suffering. In this way, the great wealth that Buddha speaks of is spiritual prosperity, a wealth of heart and mind that yields real peace and happiness. As the Buddha once said, contentment is the greatest wealth, a reminder that no amount of external riches can substitute the fulfillment that arises from within. Among the treasures Buddhism encourages us to seek are merit and wisdom. Merit, the fruit of virtuous actions like helping others and practicing compassion, is an invaluable asset that we carry with us, affecting our well-being and contributing to a peaceful life. Wisdom, which is born of deep understanding and the awareness of life's impermanence, illuminates the truth of existence and shields us from unnecessary suffering. Together, these qualities form a priceless, lifelong inheritance, an inheritance not diminished by time or circumstance. The Dhammapada eloquently states, "Even a rain of gold would not be enough to satisfy craving," highlighting that material wealth is fleeting and ultimately insufficient to satisfy the deeper needs of the human spirit. Rather, it is through accumulating virtue and insight that one truly prospers. Buddhism encourages a profound self-inquiry, inviting us to look within to find our most precious resources in what we may call the mind's account. This account is unique, boundless, and fed by our good deeds, acts of kindness, and cultivation of wisdom. Here, every selfless act, every effort to ease the suffering of others, is like a deposit in an inexhaustible bank of compassion and clarity. In today's world, where the race for material gain often drives people to neglect inner well-being, this concept of a mind's account serves as a powerful reminder that the path to real wealth is paved with mindfulness and generosity. Lao Tzu wisely noted, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough," underscoring that spiritual contentment has the power to enrich our lives in a way that no sum of money ever could. In this light, true wealth isn't amassed from possessions, but from moments of inner peace, from the ability to live in the present, and from a heart unburdened by desires. This is spiritual wealth, the resilient foundation that enables us to remain steady amid life's challenges, no longer bound by the need to accumulate, but instead free to live with purpose and to uplift others. This deep-seated wealth transforms our lives, allowing us to cherish each moment and to extend kindness and compassion to those around us. Buddhist teachings remind us that the great wealth we seek lies within our own nature, a nature abundant with potential for wisdom, compassion, and peace. This inner wealth endures, untouched by external circumstances, offering strength in times of hardship and guiding us toward liberation from the suffering of unfulfilled desires. As we accumulate merit and deepen our understanding, we unlock a source of inner strength that is, indeed, the ultimate treasure. Buddha's path to great wealth is one of self-cultivation, of nurturing a rich spirit that is ever closer to enlightenment, where genuine contentment and peace reside. And in this journey toward an awakened mind, we learn that the truest form of wealth, the only wealth that brings lasting joy, is not in what we own, but in who we become. Number 2. The origin of true wealth, merit and wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, true wealth does not lie in money or material possessions, but in merit and wisdom, two fundamental factors that help people achieve peace and enlightenment. This is the kind of assets that are not easily worn out or lost over time, and are not affected by changes in the external environment. Merit and wisdom are the foundation for true wealth, bringing deep meaning and eternal peace to life. 1. Merit. Accumulating merit from compassion and good deeds. True wealth in Buddhism is not measured by material gains or external status, but rather by the richness of one's heart and mind, cultivated through merit and wisdom. This kind of wealth is timeless, unbreakable, and provides a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. Merit, in the Buddhist sense, comes from acts of compassion, generosity, and kindness. Simple yet profound deeds done without expecting anything in return. When we give of ourselves, whether through a kind word, a helping hand, or a generous heart, we are planting seeds of goodness in the world and in our own souls. This merit strengthens our character, purifies our mind, and connects us to a greater sense of purpose and unity. Reflect on this. How often do we give with no strings attached, simply because we want to see others happy? In practicing selfless generosity, we are embodying the essence of merit, which goes beyond just good intentions. It shapes our path toward inner peace and joy. As the Buddha once said, "Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened." Happiness never decreases by being shared. Giving is like this candle. When we offer something of ourselves, be it time, resources, or even a comforting presence, we are not diminished. Instead, we become fuller, creating a reservoir of merit that benefits not only others, but also ourselves in unseen ways. One of the most beautiful aspects of merit is its accessibility. You don't need to be wealthy or powerful to create it. A small act done with sincerity holds immense value. Perhaps it's offering food to someone in need, helping a friend without waiting for recognition, or even being present for a loved one during a difficult time. Each of these actions builds merit, a kind of inner wealth that no one can take away. Think about it. What simple acts of kindness can you do today to create this inner wealth? Merit is a powerful source of transformation, especially when combined with a heart of compassion. Compassion allows us to see others with empathy, feeling their joys and sorrows as our own. It invites us to step beyond self-interest and reach out to others in a way that acknowledges our shared humanity. Imagine a society where everyone strives to act with compassion and generosity. What a world it would be! When we give with an open heart, we not only uplift others, but also nourish our own spirit. The Buddha taught that if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. In this simple truth lies a profound wisdom. Our actions, especially those grounded in kindness and selflessness, always circle back to us in one form or another, enriching our lives in ways we may not even realize. So consider this. What can you offer the world today, big or small, to build your own path of light? In doing so, we become part of a cycle of goodness, one that not only uplifts our own life, but also contributes to a more compassionate and understanding world. True wealth, therefore, is not something we accumulate for ourselves, but something we cultivate within ourselves for the benefit of all beings. 2. Wisdom, the wealth of understanding and insight. True wealth in life goes far beyond material success or financial gain. It's rooted in the lasting gifts of wisdom and insight. In Buddhism, wisdom is more than mere knowledge. It's a profound understanding of the true nature of life, embracing concepts like impermanence, suffering, and the selfless essence of existence. When we cultivate wisdom, we gain an inner clarity that frees us from the constant cycle of attachment, dissatisfaction, and self-centered thinking, bringing us closer to a state of peace. Wisdom teaches us that everything is transient, that life is a flow of changing moments and experiences. Reflect on the idea that, as Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. How often do we let ourselves become consumed by fleeting desires, only to find ourselves in a state of stress or regret when they slip away? By understanding impermanence, we learn to appreciate life as it unfolds, valuing moments rather than possessions and relationships over things, which in turn allows us to live more simply and joyfully, unattached to the burdens of material accumulation. Wisdom also involves an understanding of suffering and, more importantly, how to overcome it. Life inevitably brings challenges. Yet wisdom helps us see these struggles through a transformative lens. When we understand the roots of suffering, often stemming from greed, anger, and ignorance, known in Buddhism as the three poisons, we begin to free ourselves from these sources of inner turmoil. With wisdom, we learn that suffering is often fueled by our own desires and aversions, our attachments to outcomes, and our resistance to life's natural ebb and flow. Imagine a life where, instead of reacting with frustration to setbacks, you could embrace them as opportunities for growth. Wisdom teaches us that freedom from suffering comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our inner responses to it. It's this internal shift, this move away from craving and toward acceptance, that grants us a profound resilience. In our modern world, where the pressures to accumulate wealth, status, and constant success are ever present, wisdom becomes a grounding force, reminding us that true wealth is not in what we own, but in how we live. As Confucius once remarked, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance, a reminder that in seeking wisdom, we are continually uncovering layers of humility and self-awareness that guide us toward a balanced life. Through wisdom, we become less affected by life's temporary ups and downs, gaining a perspective that values long-term peace over short-term gain. Instead of being driven by impulse or societal pressure, we act with a sense of purpose and clarity. Wisdom, then, is a compass, helping us navigate life's complexities with patience and compassion. To those who may be on the path to understanding life's deeper truths, consider this. Are there areas in your life where you cling too tightly, where fear of loss or the lure of temporary pleasures drives your decisions? Embracing wisdom is like letting go of a weight, freeing yourself to experience life without the constant grasping for more. In the end, wisdom offers us a form of wealth that cannot be diminished, one that provides enduring fulfillment. It's a wealth that nurtures contentment, fosters compassion, and strengthens our ability to face life's challenges with grace. As the Dalai Lama beautifully puts it, the purpose of life is to be happy. And through wisdom, we discover that happiness lies in understanding, not owning, in giving, not taking, and in embracing change rather than resisting it. This is the path to true wealth, rich in meaning, resilient through trials, and enduringly fulfilling. 3. Combining merit and wisdom to create true wealth. Combining merit and wisdom is like giving wings to a bird that soars towards enlightenment, creating a balanced, purposeful life grounded in compassion and insight. In Buddhism, merit and wisdom are essential. Merit is the fruit of our good deeds, our acts of kindness and generosity, while wisdom is the deeper understanding of life's true nature. Think of them as two sides of a single coin, each enhancing the other. If we cultivate merit alone, without the guidance of wisdom, we may find ourselves swept up in endless acts of compassion, without ever knowing when to let go or how to avoid attachment. Likewise, if we pursue wisdom without compassion, we risk becoming detached, cold, and unable to connect with the world around us. Together, however, merit and wisdom bring a harmony that elevates our lives, enriching not only our own journey, but also uplifting those around us. There's a story in Buddhism about a king who sought enlightenment and decided to devote his resources to helping the people in his kingdom. The king built temples, gave alms, and provided for the poor. But despite his generosity, he found himself troubled and unsatisfied. Seeking guidance, he approached a wise monk who explained that while his generosity was indeed meritorious, it was missing the anchor of wisdom. The monk advised the king to practice meditation, reflect on the impermanence of life, and understand the nature of his own actions and desires. Over time, the king learned to give with a sense of detachment and clarity, recognizing that his deeds were a part of a greater cycle rather than a source of personal pride. He learned to let go, and in doing so, he found the peace and contentment he had been searching for. This story highlights the balance we need between merit and wisdom. Only by combining the two can we experience true fulfillment and inner wealth. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you nurtured both compassion and understanding? How might it change your actions, your relationships, or your outlook on life? When we live with merit and wisdom together, we create a kind of wealth that goes far beyond material gains, a richness that no external circumstance can diminish. With merit, we learn to connect, to give selflessly, and to empathize with others, fostering a sense of unity and shared humanity. With wisdom, we develop the insight to navigate life's ups and downs with a steady mind, free from attachment and craving. Together, these qualities empower us to live with purpose and resilience, facing whatever life brings with a heart that is open yet unbound by desires. This harmonious blend of merit and wisdom is what Buddhism calls true wealth, a state of being that is neither shaken by loss nor inflated by gain, because it is rooted in qualities that are unchanging and lasting. As the Dalai Lama once said, the ultimate source of happiness is not money and power, but warm-heartedness. True wealth is not measured by what we have, but by who we are and how we live. It's about creating a legacy of goodness and understanding, one that ripples out and touches the lives of those around us. So, consider today, in what ways can you cultivate both merit and wisdom? By engaging in kind actions with insight and by deepening your understanding with compassion, you are building a life of true wealth, one that brings joy, meaning, and peace, not just to yourself, but to all you encounter. In this way, you are truly rich, living a life of balance and fulfillment that no one can take away. If you've made it this far, you're already welcoming prosperity into your life through the power of wisdom. Comment below with "Blessed Abundance" to affirm your openness to receiving this positive energy. Don't miss out. There's so much more insight to come that could transform your journey with abundance. Stay until the end to unlock the essence of wealth through Buddhist teachings. Number 3. Big money can come in everyday life. In everyday life, each of us can receive precious, big money, not from our bank accounts, but from our own souls and inner peace. This money does not necessarily come from wealth or material success, but from spiritual values that help us feel complete and happy. 1. Moments of peace and tranquility in the soul. In our fast-paced lives, genuine peace can often seem like a luxury, something reserved for vacations or rare moments of solitude. Yet one of the greatest forms of big money we can experience doesn't come from financial success or material gain, but from cultivating a steady inner peace within ourselves. This wealth is unique, one that transcends any external circumstance. It is a state of calm, a deep satisfaction that comes when we learn to manage our minds, nurture our souls, and live mindfully. The Buddha taught, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This insight reminds us that true peace is not something dependent on outside events, but is born from our ability to stay grounded and centered, regardless of the storms surrounding us. In a world filled with distractions, deadlines, and demands, such inner peace can feel like a rare gem, a source of deep wealth that enriches our lives each day. But this wealth is available to everyone, ready to be cultivated through mindful living. Mindfulness is not just about being present. It is a way of living that lets us engage fully in each moment without being pulled into past regrets or future anxieties. Imagine sipping a warm cup of tea, listening to the chirping of birds, or feeling the soft breeze on your skin, ordinary moments that often pass unnoticed. When we bring mindfulness to these moments, they transform. They become gifts, opportunities to connect deeply with life and appreciate its subtleties. It is through such presence that we uncover peace, not as something to be chased or attained, but as something that's here, within us, in each moment. Consider this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to truly, fully be in a moment, without the urge to move on to the next task? Even small pauses like these can anchor us, grounding us in a quiet strength and a sense of calm that helps us face the world with resilience and joy. In modern life, we tend to think of stillness as unproductive or even wasteful, but these moments of rest are what replenish us. They are chances to tune in, let go of stress, and reconnect with what truly matters. Lao Tzu, the ancient sage, once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." Imagine the power of embracing a moment of silence, not to escape, but to observe, to simply be with yourself. When we give ourselves permission to stop and dwell in silence, we often find ourselves refreshed, equipped with a renewed sense of purpose and focus. In these moments, we connect with a profound inner clarity, a place that cannot be reached through external achievements, but is built through daily practice of inner stillness. Each time we choose to take a deep breath, to observe our thoughts without judgment, or to pause and feel the moment, we're cultivating a reservoir of peace and clarity. This inner calm gives us the perspective to face our challenges with a mind that is both calm and resilient, a heart that is steady and open. Unlike external sources of wealth that are ever shifting, this peace is consistent. It doesn't fluctuate with the stock market, isn't influenced by social status, and cannot be taken away by anyone else. Ask yourself, how often do you allow your mind to rest, free from the endless pull of responsibilities, or the need for approval? What if, every day, you carved out a few minutes just for stillness? It could be in the morning with a quiet cup of coffee, or in the evening as you watch the sunset. These small, simple acts nurture a wealth that enriches every moment, helping us lead a life filled with meaning and clarity. When we learn to create and cherish these moments of peace, we not only nurture our own lives, but inspire those around us to seek the same. True wealth is not only what we accumulate, but also what we cultivate within ourselves. This inner peace, once nurtured, grows into a gift we share with others, a source of calm, wisdom, and resilience that positively impacts everyone we meet. Embrace these moments of stillness, for they are treasures to be valued and celebrated, and they bring a richness to life that no material wealth can match. 2. Understanding and gratitude. In our busy modern lives, it's easy to overlook some of the most valuable experiences available to us, the simple, profound moments of understanding and gratitude. These forms of big money aren't measured in dollars, but in the richness of a heart that knows how to appreciate the world and connect meaningfully with others. When we take time to recognize and be grateful for what we have, our perspective changes. Life begins to feel abundant, filled with treasures we might have otherwise taken for granted. The Buddha once said, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful." This timeless wisdom encourages us to find blessings in every situation, even the difficult ones. Gratitude is a practice that helps us see life's beauty, often hidden in the simple experiences of a day, the warmth of a meal, the smile of a stranger, the safety of a home, or even the health we often take for granted. Each moment we pause to appreciate these things, we're tapping into a profound sense of abundance and inner wealth. Gratitude is transformative. When we learn to appreciate the small blessings in our lives, we start to see the world in a new light. Imagine starting each day with a moment of reflection, thinking of 3 things you're thankful for. Maybe it's the companionship of a loved one, a job that challenges and supports you, or even something as simple as the beauty of a sunrise. These seemingly small acts of appreciation can have an enormous impact, filling our hearts with joy and grounding us in a sense of purpose. Over time, these moments of gratitude accumulate, creating a mindset of abundance and fulfillment that enriches every area of our lives. When was the last time you truly took in the blessings around you? Many of us rush through our days, hardly stopping to notice the small miracles in our lives. But practicing gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or major life changes. It's about recognizing the beauty and value in what's already here. Perhaps it's a moment of quiet with your children, a delicious meal, or the coziness of your home after a long day. These moments, often seen as ordinary, become extraordinary when we view them through the lens of gratitude, creating a reservoir of resilience and joy that we can draw upon any time. Alongside gratitude, understanding and empathy offer us another form of spiritual wealth. There's an old Buddhist story of a monk who, during his travels, encountered a man weighed down by anger and frustration. Instead of judging him, the monk listened with compassion, offering a safe space for the man to express himself. Through this understanding, the man found peace, and in helping him, the monk also grew spiritually. This story shows how empathy allows us to see others as they are and to respond with kindness rather than judgment. Understanding others is a true form of wealth. It deepens our relationships, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Imagine a world where we all took a moment to see things from others' perspectives. Think about how often we rush to conclusions without stopping to consider what others may be going through. When we choose to listen, to offer compassion instead of criticism, we create a bond that enriches both parties. This empathy, this willingness to walk in another's shoes, is a gift we give to others and ourselves. It's a type of wealth that can't be measured, but is deeply felt. Reflect on your daily interactions. How often do you approach others with understanding and an open heart? How often do you truly listen, not just to respond, but to understand? When we cultivate this mindset, we begin to see others not as obstacles or strangers, but as fellow travelers on the journey of life. This creates a sense of community and belonging, a network of support and kindness that's invaluable in today's world. It's a wealth of connection that gives our lives meaning and depth, a currency of the heart that builds resilience and trust. Ultimately, practicing gratitude and understanding shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, from judgment to compassion. It's about perceiving the world with openness and appreciation, recognizing the intrinsic value in each person and in each moment. When we approach life this way, we find ourselves enriched with a wealth that cannot be taken from us, a wealth rooted in kindness, empathy, and a heart that overflows with gratitude. Each day becomes an opportunity to grow richer in spirit, to foster connections, and to experience the fullness of life in all its simplicity. This is true wealth, the kind that isn't subject to external circumstances or material possessions. By embracing gratitude and understanding, we build a life of meaning and joy, a life that not only uplifts us, but also inspires others. So let gratitude and empathy guide your days, and watch how life unfolds in beautiful, unexpected ways. This is a richness that grows with each act of appreciation, a wealth that fills our hearts and strengthens our communities. 3. Joy from sharing and helping others. One of the most profound forms of wealth we can experience in life is the joy that arises from sharing and helping others. In Buddhism, acts of kindness and generosity are considered to be some of the highest forms of spiritual practice, creating positive karma and fostering compassion. Yet, the true value of these actions extends far beyond their immediate impact. They transform us, filling our lives with a deep sense of purpose, connection, and joy. When we give from the heart, expecting nothing in return, we unlock a kind of spiritual richness that is much greater than any material gain. The Buddha once taught, "If you light a lamp for somebody, it will also brighten your path." This teaching reminds us that acts of kindness do not only benefit those we help, they also bring light into our own lives, illuminating our hearts and minds. Giving becomes a source of inner peace and fulfillment, an assurance that we're making a difference, however small, in the lives of others. In the busyness of modern life, opportunities for meaningful giving often slip by unnoticed. By making a conscious choice to embrace these moments, we invite a profound joy into our lives, a joy rooted in kindness and connection. True sharing is not measured by the size of the gesture, but by the sincerity with which it's given. When we offer something, whether it's our time, a helping hand, or even a simple smile, we're contributing to a wealth of goodwill that not only supports others, but also nurtures us in return. Think back to a time when you offered help to someone, maybe a friend or even a stranger, and remember the warmth that lingered long after. This feeling of joy from giving is something that stays with us, strengthening our spirits and creating lasting happiness that material things cannot replicate. Generosity, too, has a ripple effect. Each act of kindness we offer sends waves of positivity into the world, connecting us with others in ways we might never expect. When we give openly and without conditions, we're not just benefiting the immediate recipient, we're contributing to a broader network of kindness and understanding. Imagine a community where people freely offer their help and support, creating bonds that foster a sense of belonging and solidarity. Such communities are rich in invisible wealth, a wealth that isn't stored in bank accounts but in the hearts of the people. Ask yourself, when was the last time you gave without expecting anything in return? Giving doesn't have to be grand or costly. It can be as simple as listening attentively to someone, sharing a meal, or reaching out to comfort a friend. These seemingly small acts can have a tremendous impact, especially for those going through tough times. In choosing to give, we align ourselves with a spirit of generosity that brings light and warmth into both our lives and the lives of those around us. This is true wealth, a richness of spirit that brings peace, joy, and a sense of belonging. Furthermore, when we cultivate a habit of giving, we create an inner abundance. Each time we choose to share our time, resources, or love with others, we nurture a state of openness and contentment. Rather than feeling a sense of loss or sacrifice, we begin to feel more connected and fulfilled, realizing that life is about these small moments of exchange and care. This shift in perspective, from seeing giving as an obligation to experiencing it as a joy, helps us live with a generous heart and an uplifted spirit. Helping others also strengthens our sense of self-worth. When we see that our actions have the power to positively influence another person's life, we feel a deep sense of validation and purpose. This isn't about gaining praise or recognition. It's about knowing that we are capable of making a difference. This realization can have a transformative effect, empowering us to lead lives that are rich in meaning and compassion. With every act of kindness, we affirm our own value and our ability to contribute to a more compassionate world. In a world often focused on individual gain and personal success, sharing and helping others can feel like a radical choice. Yet, it's a choice that opens us to a life filled with joy and connection. When we give freely, we build a legacy that's not based on what we've accumulated, but on the kindness we've shared, the people we've uplifted, and the communities we've strengthened. The joy of helping others is a kind of wealth that no financial status can offer. It's a currency of the heart that deepens our lives and enriches our souls. Imagine what the world would be like if each of us made an effort to help others every day, even in small ways. This collective generosity would create communities filled with understanding, support, and a genuine sense of togetherness. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, becomes part of a larger fabric of goodwill that binds us together. By embracing the joy of giving, we can live a life rich in warmth, love, and genuine connection. As you go through your day, consider the small ways in which you can bring joy to others, whether it's holding the door for a stranger, reaching out to a friend in need, or simply offering a smile. Remember that these acts of kindness are gifts, not only to others, but to yourself. They are seeds of joy that once planted grow and flourish in our lives and in the lives of those around us. In the end, this is the true wealth, a life filled with compassion, generosity, and the joy of helping others. If you're still watching, you're already inviting a flow of abundance into your life through these teachings. Comment "prosperous path" to affirm your readiness to receive. Stay with us till the end as we reveal powerful insights that could bring lasting wealth and wisdom into your journey. 4. The ability to be free and unattached. One of life's greatest sources of wealth is the freedom to live without the burdens of unnecessary attachments, desires, or worries. This big money isn't found in possessions or social status. It is an internal treasure, a lightness and ease that comes from not being constantly weighed down by the pursuit of external validation, material gain, or the fear of losing what we have. Cultivating this freedom allows us to experience true peace, to live with a mind that is clear, open, and untroubled. The Buddha wisely said, "You only lose what you cling to." This teaching reveals a powerful truth. It is our attachments, not the objects of attachment themselves, that create stress, fear, and suffering. The more we cling to outcomes, possessions, or roles, the more entangled we become, and the more we fear loss. However, when we learn to let go of these attachments, we unlock a profound sense of inner freedom that no external achievement can provide. It is this kind of freedom, freedom from clinging, that allows us to experience life as it is, moment by moment, without the constant need to control or possess. Imagine how liberating it would be to approach each day without the pressure to meet someone else's expectations or the drive to constantly acquire more. Our culture often tells us that happiness comes from status, wealth, or acclaim. But these pursuits can lead us into a cycle of dissatisfaction, where each achievement brings only a brief sense of fulfillment before we start yearning for the next one. Inner freedom is about breaking this cycle and realizing that true happiness is not a destination but a state of mind, one that we can nurture within ourselves every day, regardless of our external circumstances. This freedom from attachment doesn't mean giving up ambition or losing the desire to grow. Rather, it means moving through life with a sense of ease, knowing that our worth and happiness do not depend on any particular outcome. We can set goals, pursue dreams, and take on responsibilities with a light heart, understanding that these things are part of our journey but do not define us. By letting go of the need for constant validation or control, we open ourselves to a sense of peace that remains steady through all of life's ups and downs. Living freely and fully means embracing the present moment, recognizing its beauty, and experiencing life without the mental weight of future worries or past regrets. When we let go of our attachments, each moment becomes precious, each experience unique and complete in itself. Life becomes not a series of steps leading to some ultimate goal, but a series of moments to be lived fully and joyfully. This perspective allows us to see the richness in everyday life, the treasure that each new day offers us, if only we're present enough to appreciate it. Consider the feeling of waking up each day without the pressure to live up to an imposed ideal or the anxiety that something is missing. This is the gift of inner freedom, a state of contentment that is not affected by possessions, status, or other people's opinions. Lao Tzu taught that, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." When we release our grip on external definitions and expectations, we allow ourselves to discover a depth of peace, a wealth of clarity, and an authentic joy that comes from simply being. This journey of letting go and embracing non-attachment is not about isolating ourselves or suppressing desires. It's about creating mental space to live with greater awareness and appreciation. It allows us to approach life's challenges with a balanced mind, to face uncertainty with confidence, and to experience love, success, and even setbacks without losing our sense of self. When we no longer depend on outcomes or possessions to determine our happiness, we find that life becomes a series of opportunities to explore, connect, and grow. Ask yourself, what are the things you cling to that might be weighing you down? Is it a need for approval, a desire for control, or an attachment to a certain outcome? By consciously examining these attachments and loosening our hold on them, we allow ourselves to live with greater lightness and joy. Each time we choose to let go, even if just a little, we strengthen our capacity for inner peace and discover a freedom that empowers us to live authentically and wholeheartedly. This kind of freedom, freedom from clinging, from the pressures of conformity, from the fears of inadequacy, is a profound wealth. It allows us to meet each moment with curiosity and courage, to appreciate life's impermanence, and to embrace each day as a gift. By practicing non-attachment, we cultivate a state of mind that is open, resilient, and at ease, able to flow with the changing tides of life rather than resisting them. In the end, true wealth is not found in the accumulation of things, but in the freedom to live without being controlled by them. This freedom brings a richness to life that transcends all material possessions and achievements. By nurturing this inner lightness, every experience, every interaction, and every breath becomes a source of joy, a moment to be cherished. This journey toward non-attachment is a journey to discover our truest selves, a self that is complete, content, and unshakable, no matter what life brings. Let this path of freedom and non-attachment guide you. Embrace life with an open heart, free from the chains of expectation and worry, and watch as each day unfolds with newfound clarity, peace, and purpose. In this way, we create a wealth that no external force can take from us, a wealth that sustains us, fills our lives with meaning, and brings us closer to a deep, abiding sense of happiness. 5. Viewing time as a form of wealth. In our fast-paced, results-driven world, we often measure wealth by what's in our bank accounts, equating success with accumulating material assets. However, there is a deeper, more intrinsic form of wealth that often goes overlooked: the wealth of time. Unlike money, time is a non-renewable resource, gifted to us in moments that can never be retrieved once spent. The way we choose to invest our time can be one of the most powerful indicators of fulfillment, providing a wealth that far surpasses the temporary satisfaction of monetary gains. The Buddha once said, "The trouble is, you think you have time." This profound statement reminds us that time slips away if we do not treat it with respect and mindfulness. By cultivating an awareness of time as a valuable asset, we invite greater intention and meaning into our daily lives. Viewing time as a form of wealth allows us to ask ourselves what really matters and to decide where our true investments should lie. Each hour we spend aligns either with our values, goals, or distractions, and in this understanding we recognize that time is more than a means to an end. It's a means to a rich and fulfilling life. For example, time spent connecting with loved ones, pursuing personal growth, and fostering peace of mind is often immeasurable in monetary terms, yet it provides a wealth of experience, love, and understanding that nothing else can buy. Think of this shift in mindset as a journey to redefine your relationship with time. Rather than seeing it as something to fill up or rush through, consider each moment as an investment with its own return. Practicing mindful time management doesn't mean simply scheduling every hour or creating endless to-do lists. It means consciously aligning our time with our purpose, letting go of distractions, and making room for what brings genuine joy and peace. In modern life, distractions are abundant, from constant notifications to the pursuit of productivity at any cost. But we can choose to treat time as a precious resource, much like money, by being intentional about where we place our attention. Spending 5 quiet minutes in the morning to center ourselves, or setting aside time each week to connect with family, can feel like small acts. Yet over time, these add up to a rich life. As Lao Tzu wisely said, "Time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time, is like saying, I don't want to." This wisdom encourages us to take responsibility for how we spend our time, to see it not as something that simply happens to us, but as something we actively shape. When we learn to treat time as a gift, we start noticing that even everyday activities have the potential to be meaningful. Cooking a meal with care, enjoying the present moment in a conversation, or spending an afternoon engaged in a hobby that feeds the soul can be enriching experiences that build a reservoir of contentment and peace. This sense of time-based wealth brings us closer to the real richness of life, the kind that isn't subject to market fluctuations or economic downturns. This approach also helps reduce the constant pressure to be productive and invites a more balanced, wholesome approach to each day, reminding us that fulfillment doesn't always come from achievements, but from the quality of our experiences. In essence, wealth is not just measured in dollars, but in the richness of a life well lived. The wealth of time, therefore, is not about counting minutes, but about making moments count. By prioritizing how we spend our days, we build a life that's aligned with our values, connected to those we love, and filled with activities that enrich our spirit. Time is both a finite resource and an infinite gift. By choosing to value it as such, we unlock a sense of prosperity that no financial investment could ever provide. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, there are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, do, and mostly live. This wisdom calls us to see today as the wealth we already have, encouraging us to live each moment with purpose and gratitude. When we approach time with this mindset, we cultivate a life that feels full, rich, and genuinely worthwhile, ultimately embracing a sense of wealth that money could never replicate. Thank you for being here with us in today's video. As we delve deeper, I want to take a moment to express my appreciation for your presence in this community. It's wonderful to have you on this journey of wisdom and abundance. Please feel free to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. If you're new, just say "new to the path," or if you've been with us for a while, type "wisdom seeker." Your engagement inspires us and strengthens this community of growth. Now, let's continue exploring these insights together, shall we? Applying knowledge and enlightenment in daily life to receive wealth every day. In today's world, we often chase happiness and prosperity through external sources like money, status, and material possessions. But have you ever wondered, what truly makes a life feel full and rich? Isn't it the peace, understanding, and gratitude that come from within? The Buddha taught that true wealth is not just measured by what we own, but by how fully we embrace each moment of our lives. Receiving wealth. Here is not just about finances. It's a transformation that begins within us. By cultivating awareness, valuing knowledge, living in the present, practicing generosity, and maintaining balance in our attachments, we unlock a kind of wealth that can be felt every day. This wealth cannot be bought or sold, but it forms the roots of real happiness and purpose. Let's dive into these lessons so that each day we may recognize and hold on to a true kind of wealth, a wealth that comes from the heart, from peace, and from a love of life itself. 1. Develop awareness, sati. Seeing opportunities as wealth. Developing awareness, or sati in Buddhist practice, is about opening our minds and hearts to the endless opportunities around us. This awareness is not merely about noticing things, but involves cultivating a mindset that sees potential and wealth in every moment. Starting each day with mindfulness allows you to connect deeply with the present, just as a beginner's mind brings fresh insight into the world without preconceived notions. By approaching your day this way, you become attuned to opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. These are the true riches of life, small moments that accumulate, creating an abundant life. Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Practicing mindfulness in everyday activities, whether a simple walk, a meeting, or a conversation, helps you catch opportunities that others may overlook. A chance encounter with a stranger might lead to new insights. A quiet moment might reveal solutions to long-standing problems, and even routine tasks hold the potential for self-improvement and gratitude. In these moments of mindful awareness, you find opportunities not just to enhance your financial well-being, but also to enrich your mind and heart. With this level of awareness, you realize that wealth isn't confined to material gains. It includes every aspect of life that brings peace, joy, and fulfillment. In modern life, where distractions abound, maintaining this level of awareness requires discipline, but also offers unmatched rewards. It's easy to get swept up in daily routines, rushing from one task to the next without pausing to truly experience them. Yet, as you learn to develop a mindful approach, you begin to see that each day is a unique gift with its own opportunities to seize. Think of every experience as a potential teacher, each interaction as a chance to learn or give, each setback as a stepping stone, and each success as a moment to be grateful. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, when you realize that everything springs only from yourself, you will learn both peace and joy. Mindful awareness sharpens your vision to recognize what matters, distinguishing between distractions and genuinely enriching moments. You start noticing the small things, a smile from a stranger, an insightful article, a friend's supportive words, and understand that these seemingly small details weave the fabric of a wealthy life. When you cultivate this mindset, your daily life transforms, offering you moments of growth, insight, and emotional richness that add up to true abundance. The simple act of noticing, of being fully present, is a powerful tool for unlocking the hidden wealth around you, allowing you to build a life filled with meaning, peace, and authentic prosperity. 2. Value knowledge as wealth. Valuing knowledge as wealth is one of the most transformative ways to live a fulfilling life. When we approach each day with a commitment to learning, even in small ways, we're cultivating a wealth that goes far beyond material gain. This practice could be as simple as reading a few pages of a book, listening to a thought-provoking podcast, or taking a moment to reflect on lessons from past experiences. Imagine a tree growing in all directions, its roots deepening into the earth as its branches stretch toward the sky. Each piece of knowledge you gain is like water nourishing those roots, strengthening you from within, creating resilience, clarity, and wisdom. This inner wealth is invaluable because it gives you the tools to approach life's challenges with greater perspective, patience, and insight. As the Buddha once taught, an insatiable desire for wealth and power leads one to ignorance, while wisdom and virtue lead to true richness. Consider the story of a young monk who was deeply frustrated, feeling he wasn't progressing in his training. He went to his teacher and expressed his dissatisfaction, wondering if he would ever attain wisdom. The teacher handed him a cup of water and asked him to walk through the bustling market, making sure not to spill a single drop. The young monk, focusing solely on the water, returned without spilling any, feeling proud. His teacher then asked him if he remembered anything from the market, but the monk realized he hadn't noticed a thing outside his task. His teacher smiled and explained, "Life is much like this cup. If you let the mind hold too much or rush to fill it, you miss the lessons around you. But with careful attention and presence, each drop becomes valuable, each moment insightful." This story reminds us that knowledge and enlightenment don't always come from grand experiences, but often from small, mindful engagements with life's daily lessons. Think about it. How often do we miss learning opportunities because we're too focused on a single goal or consumed by distractions? When you start valuing even small insights, you build a foundation of wisdom that makes life richer. How can you integrate this practice into your life today? Perhaps start by reflecting on what you learned from a recent conversation or an unexpected experience. What did it teach you about patience, empathy, or resilience? Learning isn't just about gathering facts or skills. It's about deepening your understanding of yourself and the world, helping you make better choices, overcome challenges, and grow into your full potential. As you nurture this love for learning, you might notice that it also opens doors. Whether it's a new idea sparking your creativity, a skill that improves your work, or simply a fresh perspective that enriches your relationships, each insight becomes a building block of a prosperous life. Knowledge truly is a form of wealth that no one can take away from you. It travels with you, enriches your spirit, and guides you in a way that no external riches can. So, ask yourself, what small lesson can you take from today? By making learning a daily habit, you're constantly investing in yourself. This kind of wealth, the wealth of wisdom and understanding, transforms not only how you see the world, but also how the world sees you. In the end, remember this: wealth isn't solely measured by material possessions. It's deeply connected to the clarity, peace, and purpose that knowledge brings. When you build this wealth within, your life becomes enriched with meaning and direction, and you create a legacy of wisdom that you can share with others. The real value of knowledge is in how it shapes you and allows you to contribute positively to those around you. Make each day an opportunity to gather even a small insight, for each one is a step toward becoming your best, wisest self. 3. Living in the present moment. Eckhart, Wealth in Experience. The journey toward receiving true wealth every day begins with a simple yet profound shift: living fully in the present moment. Often we chase after material wealth, believing it to be the ultimate measure of a good life. However, genuine wealth is more than what we hold in our bank accounts. It resides in the richness of each experience, the fullness of each breath, and the awareness of each sensation. When we can bring this level of presence to our everyday actions, whether it's eating, working, walking, or connecting with others, we open the door to a profound type of wealth that goes far beyond material gains. As the Buddha said, "The past is already gone, the future is not yet here. There's only one moment for you to live, and that is the present moment." So what does it mean to live in the present moment, and how does this create a wealth that can be felt deeply within the heart? Living in the present moment requires us to let go of distractions and center our awareness on what is happening right here and now. When we're eating, it means tasting each flavor, feeling each texture, and appreciating the food as nourishment for both body and spirit. When we work, it involves giving our best, focusing fully on the task at hand, rather than rushing through it or worrying about other responsibilities. Even in conversation, being present means listening with genuine interest, understanding, and compassion, which transforms a simple exchange into a meaningful connection. As Thich Nhat Hanh wisely noted, the present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. So, can you allow yourself to be fully present, releasing thoughts of past regrets or future anxieties, and just experience the fullness of now? When we practice presence, we start to notice the subtle ways it enhances every aspect of our lives. Life becomes enriched, not because we acquire more, but because we perceive more. Every moment carries its own treasure, and by paying attention, we can uncover it. We no longer seek happiness in the distant future or in possessions. Instead, we find it woven into the fabric of our daily life. This is the essence of true wealth, experiencing our lives deeply, mindfully, and with appreciation. Isn't it remarkable to think that by simply being present, we can feel more prosperous, peaceful, and fulfilled than ever before? This shift in perspective invites us to see wealth differently. Wealth is no longer a number or a collection of objects. It is a state of inner abundance that no external force can take away. As we become more mindful, we become more attuned to the beauty, peace, and joy that exist within each moment. We begin to see that these qualities are always available to us, not as fleeting rewards, but as steady companions in our lives. The Buddha said, "It is better to travel well than to arrive." When we practice presence, we realize that the journey itself is filled with wonders, and each step has something valuable to offer if we're willing to notice. What if, instead of striving for some distant goal, we focused on making each step a source of joy and meaning? Reflect on your own life. How often do you feel the need to reach a particular destination before you allow yourself to feel complete? Could it be that true contentment is available to you now without any need for conditions or future accomplishments? Presence teaches us that peace and happiness are not products of external achievements, but arise from a mind at ease and a heart fully engaged in the present. When we nurture this practice, we create a wealth of experience, joy, and fulfillment that enriches not only our lives, but also those of everyone around us. In essence, living with presence is a gift we give to ourselves, a way to reclaim the value hidden within each day. It's an invitation to slow down, appreciate, and truly live. The Dalai Lama once said, "Calm mind brings inner strength and self-confidence, so that's very important for good health." When we live with awareness, our minds calm, and with that calm comes a sense of inner wealth, strength, and confidence. This calmness spreads to our relationships, our work, and even our challenges, making every situation more manageable, enriching our inner world. So, can you bring this awareness into your daily life, treating each moment as a precious part of your journey? If you've watched this far, you're already embracing the path of applying knowledge and enlightenment to welcome wealth every day. Comment below with daily wealth to affirm your dedication to this journey of abundance and inner growth. Don't go anywhere. There are still powerful insights waiting to be shared. Stay until the end to uncover the practices that can help you manifest true prosperity in your life. 4. Generosity. Dana. Giving as a path to receiving. Generosity, known in Buddhism as dana, represents a profound pathway not only to help others, but also to cultivate an inner sense of abundance. Dana is not simply about giving materially, it's an active practice of offering value, whether that's through kind words, lending a hand, sharing wisdom, or dedicating time. This approach transcends the idea of giving as a transactional exchange. Rather, it views each moment as a sacred opportunity to contribute something meaningful to others without expecting anything in return. This type of generosity nurtures an open-hearted spirit that enables us to see and appreciate the wealth that already exists in our lives. As Buddha wisely stated, thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Each act of giving lights another flame, creating a ripple effect that touches the hearts of others, and in doing so, it cultivates a lasting connection that's far richer than any material gain. In our fast-paced modern life, people are often so focused on achieving personal goals or accumulating wealth that they overlook the transformative power of generosity. However, when we practice giving, be it through our words, actions, or resources, we open up to a reciprocal flow of positivity and respect that strengthens our relationships and deepens our sense of purpose. Generosity becomes a means to enhance our well-being by dissolving the mental walls of mine and yours and replacing them with an inclusive mindset that celebrates shared humanity. This subtle shift can lead to emotional and spiritual wealth, which are forms of abundance that can enrich every part of our lives. Furthermore, adopting a generous mindset in our interactions enhances our resilience and adaptability in difficult times as it builds goodwill and strengthens the bonds we have with those around us. In offering help freely, we often receive support in unexpected forms when we most need it. The principle is simple. As we give, we receive. It may not come in the form of material wealth, but we receive fulfillment, peace of mind, and a network of friends and supporters who bring invaluable richness to our lives. This interconnectedness, born of genuine generosity, is the essence of lasting success and prosperity. Lao Tzu once shared a similar thought, stating, "The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own." Such wisdom reveals that by giving, we're not diminishing our resources. We're expanding the depth and quality of our lives. In the end, practicing dana teaches us to break free from a scarcity mindset, to trust in the abundance that flows naturally when we live with compassion and integrity. This is how we receive wealth every day, by nurturing a rich inner life through generosity. In this way, our acts of kindness build an intangible reservoir of goodwill that can carry us through any challenge. Whether it's offering a simple compliment, lending a listening ear, or extending a helping hand, each act of giving reinforces the cycle of abundance. As we move through life with the intent to give freely, we naturally attract a wealth that sustains us, creating a balanced, joyful existence grounded in love and kindness. 5. Practice equanimity, upekkha. To truly receive wealth in our daily lives, we must first learn to practice equanimity, or upekkha, which means finding balance in our attachments, particularly those concerning material wealth. Many of us live in a world that constantly reminds us of the value of money, possessions, and status, urging us to believe that happiness depends on the things we own. But if we pause and reflect, we might see that the joy we feel when acquiring something new is often fleeting. The satisfaction wanes, and soon we find ourselves desiring more. In Buddhism, equanimity encourages us to observe these attachments, recognize them, and understand that while wealth and possessions can bring comfort, they are not the ultimate sources of lasting happiness. Ask yourself, is your peace dependent on what you own? When you buy something, is it truly fulfilling a deeper need, or is it a momentary gratification? When we begin to question these impulses, we uncover layers of attachment within us, attachments that, if left unchecked, may bind us rather than set us free. Consider the story of the wealthy man and the beggar. A man of great wealth once lived in a splendid home, surrounded by fine furniture, valuable art, and lands that stretched far and wide. Despite his riches, he found himself unhappy, constantly fearing loss and growing discontented as he sought to acquire even more wealth. One day, while visiting a temple, he saw a beggar sitting on the steps, peacefully watching the world go by, with only a thin mat and a bowl by his side. The man felt curious and, approaching the beggar, asked, "Why are you so content when you have nothing? How do you not worry about what you lack?" The beggar smiled and replied, "I may not have many possessions, but my mind is free. I own my happiness because it isn't tied to what I have or don't have." The wealthy man realized at that moment that while he possessed great riches, his happiness was still dependent on them, making him poorer in spirit than the beggar who had let go of attachment. This story reminds us that true wealth comes not from accumulating more, but from freeing ourselves from the weight of material longing. This practice of equanimity doesn't mean we must renounce all our possessions or give up our ambitions. Instead, it invites us to approach our relationship with wealth with mindfulness, observing how we feel when we gain or lose something, and noticing whether our sense of well-being shifts with these changes. Do you find yourself feeling anxious when your financial situation fluctuates, or resentful when someone else has more than you? Cultivating equanimity allows us to see these thoughts clearly, helping us remember that while possessions come and go, our inner peace doesn't have to be swayed by external circumstances. When we learn to detach our happiness from what we have, we create a stable foundation of peace and gratitude that remains regardless of our material circumstances. Imagine the freedom of being able to enjoy wealth when it comes your way and to let go when it doesn't, without losing your sense of self or happiness. Letting go of attachment is like unlocking a door to a deeper kind of abundance, a wealth that cannot be measured by bank balances or owned possessions, but by the peace and freedom that come from within. This type of wealth is available to everyone, regardless of their financial situation, because it stems from a mindset of acceptance and balance. Ask yourself, what is true abundance to you? Is it a life overflowing with things, or is it the calm assurance that you are enough just as you are? In practicing equanimity, we cultivate a resilience that enables us to appreciate the present moment, to embrace what we have without fear of loss, and to find contentment in simply being. By practicing equanimity, we transform our relationship with wealth, creating a life where material things support our happiness rather than define it. The next time you feel a surge of desire for a new possession or experience, worry over finances. Pause and ask yourself if your happiness truly depends on these things. By gently releasing these attachments, we move closer to a sense of peace that is stable, unwavering and resilient, a form of wealth that, unlike physical riches, cannot be taken from us. Remember, as the Buddha taught, peace of mind and heart is the highest form of wealth. In this, we find the foundation of true, lasting abundance. And that concludes our exploration of a large sum of money will enter your account today. As we've learned, Buddhist teachings reveal that the most valuable wealth isn't about money or material gain. It's found in cultivating inner peace, wisdom, and compassion, the lasting treasures that enrich our lives in meaningful, profound ways. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on how you might bring these teachings into your own life. Imagine the joy and fulfillment you can feel by simply living with gratitude, mindfulness, and generosity every day. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with insights to help guide you on a path of true happiness and purpose. Thank you for joining us, and may your life be filled with true wealth.